All right, I wanted to touch base with you real quick on 2 or 3 points to make sure that we're all on the same page and things start off on a strong foot and run smooth. The first thing I want to talk about is to make sure that you all understand the structure and the due dates of each chapter. Each chapter, we're covering 8, so we got 16 weeks, so you've got 2 weeks for each chapter. Plenty of time, more than enough time to be able to get your work done and not really be stressed over it much. For any given chapter, and I'm going to use chapter 1 as the example for due dates and discussion questions. That's the other topic. So for week 1, or for chapter 1, we'll begin week 1 tomorrow, 1 a.m. So each Thursday at 1 a.m., each new week begins. That means that on Wednesday, 1/17 at 11:59, the week comes to an end. So week 1 begins on January 10th at 1 a.m. and everything is due on Wednesday, 1 week later, January 17th at 11:59 p.m. Now, in week 1, your only deliverable that you have to really be concerned about is your discussion questions, which are used to say, hey, I'm in class, I've attended class, and I'm participating in class. So what the discussion questions look like, you'll be given a prompt each week. Every week of the course, you're going to have a different prompt to write on. So you'll be given a prompt to go out, find a little bit of research, nothing exhaustive, you just need like one reference. Use something other than the textbook. If you use a textbook on any assignment, on anything that you turn in as a reference, I'm just going to give you a 0 on it. Spend some time, go out, find information beyond what the textbook says. Use it as a foundation, but go beyond that to find more about it. There's a whole lot out there on everything that we're going to talk about. But do your post, and then you need to do one response back to one of your classmates. With that, you can use the same reference that you used to make your initial post. That's fine. I'm not trying to make it more difficult, but I am trying to get you to go beyond the textbook and do a little bit more, right? You're teaching yourself, so you've got to put in more effort to teach yourself. So that's week 1. Week 2, the due date for any of the assignments in the chapter, the drop dead due date will be on the Wednesday, the ending date for that Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. So week 2 begins on Thursday, 1/17 at 1 a.m. and then it ends the next Wednesday at 11:59. So again, you have to make sure that you have a discussion question, original post. You'll have a different question. And then you have to do one response just like you did. So that's 4 responses that you will have per chapter, okay? Don't make it more complicated than what it is. Now, here I do say that your work is due by 11:59 on the second Wednesday. Please get your work done before then. Don't wait till the last minute to turn it in. That is just the absolute drop dead due date. Speaking of work and turning in work, late work, do not submit late work. I'm not grading it. I'm not looking at it. You might be a B student and come midterm, you may have just for whatever reasons not done some assignments and you're now sitting at a D or a C, and that's causing you to go into panic mode. I'm sorry, you're going to have to panic. Take responsibility. It's no secret as to what's due. This is a continual format that will keep rolling out. Due dates don't change. The format's not changing. You just need to make sure you're taking ownership for getting your work done and getting your work turned in. Let me see what else I've got. Late work. Don't turn it in. Exams and Entrepreneurial Challenge. All right, so you will have a midterm and you will have a final. They will be given online. I'm not sure what this would look like because, I mean, honestly, there's 70 students in all three sections I'm teaching this time. So let me back up. Last semester, I was able to offer some flexibility in saying, hey, if you want to take the test, the exam on paper instead of online and having to deal with that, then let me know. We can set up a date. You come in and you take it. I'm not saying that that's going to be off the table, but I may not be pushing that option a whole lot either because there's just so many of you. Your exams are not cumulative. Your midterm will be over chapters 1 through 4. Your final exam will be chapters 5, 6, 8, and 9. We skipped chapter 7. So that's what your exams will look like. You'll use Respondus. I don't know if any of you have used Respondus in any of your other classes, but it's basically going to record you taking your exam, and it's going to proctor you that way. And we'll cover more about that later. It's not complicated. It's not hard. It's just you're going to be sitting there having yourself videotaped while you take the exam. Let's see. Oh, entrepreneurial challenges. Historically, up until this point, I have always assigned, and as you can see on the grading scale, it's one of the significant percentages in your score where you have to do the entrepreneurial challenges in each chapter. Well, again, looking at, there's about 70 of you now. I don't know that I'm going to be able to grade 70 entrepreneurial challenges in each chapter. 70 times that, that'd be 560 papers just on that to grade. I don't think that that's doable for one instructor over that many. So with that, I do know with that being built in as a separate item on your grading scale, I'm going to have to sit and come up with another game plan on something that is more feasible to be able to do. So probably at the beginning of the week, let me get through the weekend, let me use the weekend to think about it and to work through that some, but probably find out something that's a little bit more feasible. It'll definitely come out easier for you and come out a little bit easier for me as well, but it's still going to carry the same weight. Speaking of that, I remember my first year teaching this, I had a guy come up and come into the classroom first day and say that he was going to drop it. Well, I was a little confused because he was a senior, and this is a required course for many of you. So I asked him why was he dropping it, since he had to take it and he was looking to graduate. His comment, very honest comment, oh, well, I'm dropping it because it's easier online. Well, yeah, not so much. It might be true for some instructors, but for me, I don't cloud lines and expectations. I believe in black and white. What's required of one is required of the other. And so, especially this semester, my seated and online classes are literally doing the same work. So don't think that just because you're doing it online that this is something to blow off, because it's going to bite you. And very hard it's going to bite you. It's not that the work is overly complicated or difficult or hard. You just have to do it, and you just have to engage it, and you have to engage the process. And I don't make it complicated, and I don't make it a guessing game. The biggest points that were lost last semester in the online students, and it's like that they just couldn't grasp the feedback that I was giving, is that just do your research, do the work. Being online, you've said that you want to take responsibility for your learning. You're saying that you're at a point where you're a mature enough scholar that you can teach yourself this material with some minor guidance and direction. Well, I'm the minor guidance and direction. So you need to do that. And one of the things I look at in terms of you engaging, you expanding your knowledge and your education, is you, like I said earlier, going beyond the textbook and doing the research. The information's out there on all of these topics. You just need to go engage it. And for me to see a reference where it's just a textbook, or me see work turned in and there is no reference, that tells me you've not engaged the teaching yourself piece to this. And I can't say, yes, that's a work when you've not done the work. And I hope that makes a little bit of sense. And that's just one of the little things that I look at. Especially within the first few weeks, especially going up to midterm, I give really good feedback in saying, okay, this is what you need to do to change to move forward. And if you make that adjustment moving forward based on the feedback that I give, then your grades will take a turn for the better. If you insist on keeping on doing the same thing over and over and over, well, I'm going to stop giving the feedback because I'm tired of talking to a brick wall, and your grade is what it is. Okay? So watch for the feedback. I give you pointers. I tell you how to do it. And if you ever get to the point where it's just not making sense, reach out to me. We'll set up some time to sit down, and I can help you navigate through this. It's not a guessing game. You just got to do it. You just got to engage the material and engage the process, and you'll come out all right. All right? If you ever have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. This is a lot longer than what I had planned for this video to be, but honestly, this is like the 6th or 7th attempt. So you've got 12 minutes of me rambling. I do hope that this has added some clarity, though, to the process to make moving forward easy and an easy transition. Just don't, if you've had easy online courses in the past, don't let that fool you about this, but also don't think that I'm out to see how difficult I can make it. I'm simply here to make the experience what it should be, a learning experience for us all. All right? Email is always a quicker response than phone call, and if you ever need to meet face to face, I think that my office hours are going to be Tuesday night after class, after 5 or at 5. So feel free to reach out and we can meet or do whatever we need to. All right? I hope to meet some of you. I hope you all have a good semester. Work hard, do hard, and those of you who are fixing to graduate in May, don't get senioritis until spring break. Good luck.